This is Leadership in Action, and I'm Mark Stiles, your host. Join me as we delve deep into the passions, expertise, and experiences of Boston area innovators. Sponsored by the Boston chapter of Entrepreneurs Organization, this is Leadership in Action. Hey folks, welcome back to Leadership in Action, your Boston chapter of EO's podcast. I'm super excited to have a brand new SAP today. Brand new. You've probably seen them at some of the events because everybody's going to the events. President Glenn is with our learning chair, Dave Will, is getting a lot of attendance at those events. So make sure you're going to the next event. Love Languages is going to sell out soon. Those who have been there have seen him. He comes from a family of entrepreneurs. He's got agricultural background. I'm looking forward to talking about that. Has over 15 years supporting business leaders in human capital management, HR, compliance, strategies, and technology solutions. For those C's on the disc, get ready for that. Certified Business Performance Advisor. It's an SAP. It's a PEO. What? Yep. We'll talk about that. Drew Quesnel, welcome to the show. Thank you for your patronage.
Yeah. Thank you, Mark. Excited to be here. Excited to chat with you, and very excited to be back. With the EO here in Boston. We were at SAP years ago, but we kind of stepped back. But happy to be back on board, and just looking forward to do some networking and see where I can help. So appreciate it.
Well, hopefully we're creating more value for you, so you get sticky and you say, "I could not take this out of my budget."
I like it.
What was the most positive lesson you've learned while being in the biz?
So I've been here 11 years in April, with Insperity. I've learned a ton over those years, not only about myself, but about, business and organizations. But as you said at the beginning, I come from an entrepreneur background. My mom and dad and uncle have been in business for themselves my dad's 85 and still is in business for himself. Not perfect fits for what I do, but I saw how they struggled with, just all the rules and regulations, all the responsibilities, the people, the ins and out of being an employer. You get into business because you're good at X, but all the headaches that come with it, once you get one employee, two employees, 10 employees, it just compounds, over and over again, unless you have I saw if they had if my parents had a partner or an expertise like Insperity to kind of help them walk through that being an employer world, chances are I'd be working for them in one of those organizations that that they created and lost, and I wouldn't be here at Insperity. So, that's something big I've learned, and it's really become part of my why. How can I help business owners, navigate this world, do better for their employees, and then have the ability to step away and say, my company's in good hands. I can sleep at night now knowing that I'm, all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed for, state and federal reporting, benefit, whatever it may be. So it just, it helps me sleep at night knowing that I can help an organization, just do better, run better, grow faster, and be more compliant with, with that world of being an employer. So
Impact. You're helping people.
Yep.
You're helping them sleep at night, which helps you sleep at night. It's an abundance mentality. I love that. I love the purposeful reasons that you're in there. Your parents were igniters. They were starters. They needed that next level management, right? To take it to the next level. And is that what a PEO does? Is that what you do? Help me understand that better.
Yeah. So I definitely say, look at Insperity as taking it to the next level. So, a little background. So Insperity is a national PEO. We've been around, going on almost 40 years, 38 years.
Time out. It's a lot of acronyms. You're in it every day. I don't know what a PEO is. Anyone with me on that? Awesome. What's a PEO? Give it to me.
So a PEO is a professional employment organization.
Got it.
And it's a whole industry. There's something like 300 PEOs across the country. But what a PEO does is it shares employment responsibilities with business owners. So through a solution called co-employment, business owners shift the responsibility of all the state and federal regulations, onboarding, offboarding, workers' comp, COBRA, unemployment benefits, payroll, taxes, all over to Insperity, to
All the
Insperity.
stuff, all the stuff that buries the entrepreneur, cripples the
100%.
entrepreneur, takes their knees out. Stop doing what you're doing. There's too much stuff to do.
Exactly, exactly.
Huh.
It's what weighs entrepreneurs down. It takes their focus off of the business and growing it, right? Like I
Yeah.
said, you didn't get in business to be in HR. You got in business because you love building widgets, or you love doing podcasts, or whatever it may be. But all those headaches that come along with it is what really slows businesses down, and really doesn't allow them to, again, focus on what they love, but also, you know, one of the most important things in business is your people. And what Insperity does is it allows you to invest in your people through economies of scale on medical benefits, through economies of scale on learning and development, and really allowing individual employers to, smaller employers, to stand up next to, the Fortune 500 companies that they're trying to attract and retain talent from. So we're helping the little guy kind of run with the big organizations out there, and help them stand apart, to, again, attract and retain that top talent and allow them to, grow within the organizations we're working with.
So does that become like an association model where you're aggregating businesses together, and it now we come in and, hey, I know you're 20 people and you're like a family and everything's great, but your insurance costs suck. Come staple on, tuck into this, a bigger, um, more scalable. I mean, it's better
Yeah,
for
it's a bigger
everything, right?
pool. So yeah, so we combined all our client companies for buying power on the things I talked about: medical insurance, healthcare, or workers' comp, and allow those individuals to come into our pool. So it takes you out of that brokered healthcare, the brokered market, where if you're a small business, you get X; if you're a big business, you get Y. We privatize it and look at each individual organization. And plus, with our buying power on medical benefits, I mean, here in Massachusetts, we made it to about 13,000 lives. So we're putting you in a much larger pool to get that economy scales of buying power. But, you know, a lot of times it's, we're definitely be more cost effective on benefits, but we're also opening up the door of all the benefits you can offer your employees. It's not just one HMO. I mean, we can offer HMOs, a group of HMOs, PPOs, high deductible healthcare benefits. So again, we're able to customize the offering not only for the organization but for the individual employee. One medical plan doesn't fit all for your employees. They might need more support here, or maybe they don't need a high deductible, or they want a high deductible. So it really, again, allows for choice, within the organization. To, again, we're trying to attract those good employees and make sure we keep them around as long as we can.
So it takes an SMB who's been treated, not great over the years, right? Small to medium sized business. Like, yeah, I know you're the 90% of the economy, but you're also going to get kicked and stepped on a little bit. This aggregates and brings that together so we can compete, right?
100%.
I
You
love
nailed
it.
it.
Love it.
Yep. Yep.
You know what else I love? I love your sound. You've got great audio.
Oh, thanks. My headset, man, I'm telling you.
Well, I gotta share this with the folks. I've been struggling with a microphone. I take it in the bag, it breaks, and then the connection's wrong, and this and that. And I was going through the pre-call with Andrew, getting to know each other, warming up 15, 20 minutes. That's it. Seeing if it's gonna work out. Um, and I'm just talking about audio, and I'm like, "You're all set." Usually I talk about audio that, 95% of the people are gonna be listening to this, very few people are gonna be watching us, so don't sweat the background and everything, but, you're gonna be as close to someone's brain as possible, so let's be respectful. Great content, swipe, great content, shitty audio. I'm moving on. I'm moving on. I'm
Right.
sorry, I'm not gonna struggle, it's not gonna work. So I am now a card-carrying member of this Jabra headset as well, uh, and I feel like a pilot. I feel great. I feel like it sounds better than any microphone. I don't have to, like, worry about leaning in to the microphone. Thank you for sharing that with me, man. I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
my pleasure. You sound awesome yourself.
Thank
So
you.
get
Thank you.
those things charged.
Tell me, tell me where you see your company going with AI and Web3 and all of the, Magnum PI looking, 1982
Yeah.
Magnum PI looked at a watch and said, this is going to be my phone soon. Like, where are we going? I know we've got efficiencies and, some people are freaking out about AI, but most people are thinking like, how can I benefit with this and shorten the lifespan and be more efficient and scale more? Like, what's,
Yeah, I mean, I think AI is gonna have a effect on, a ton of different organizations. I mean, here internally at Insperity, we're using obviously for marketing and
yeah,
outreach and things like that. Um, but for our model, AI isn't again, so we're the people business,
yeah,
right? We are in with connecting people. We're making sure that we are, we're hands-on with our client companies. And, part of our model is giving our client organizations HR specialists, client liaisons they reach out to directly. These are real people, based here in Boston or in one of our, 90 offices across the country. Um, so when you're dealing in HR, you're dealing with people, and that's what we're trying to keep that kind of relationship because there's no two companies the same. There's no two interactions the same, especially when you're talking about HR. So you know, do I see AI taking over a big part of our business? Maybe on the sales side and things like that, but you know, a lot of the other PEOs are moving towards kind of a cloud-based solution where you call you call a 1-800 number, you do a ticketing system. We moved in the opposite direction during COVID, where we hired more again HR specialist, client liaison to keep that personal touch where you can really call somebody here in Insperity who you work with on a daily basis to manage your HR needs or to support something that goes on because chances are something's going to happen on, Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving, when you need an answer because XYZ went crazy in the, on the showroom floor or whatever it is. And that's where you need somebody you can really talk to. Who has that experience or is backed up by 4,500 other employers or employees that are in the HR space that can help them. So I see AI maybe being part of it for quick access for clients. Maybe if an employee has a question about their healthcare and stuff, I mean, we have live chat and stuff on our portal and things like that. But again, my clients, if they have a question, they're reaching out directly to me or our client liaison just to kind of keep that relationship. Because I mean, it is all about, I've learned a long time ago doing this for, 10 plus years that it's a relationship. It's not only it's a relationship sell, but it's also relationship support. I mean, I'm interacting with my clients, every day to try to help them, either navigate our system or support something that they have going on. So I think AI will be big. I mean, I've used it for outreach and stuff, but in our model, I just don't see it taking over. We want to keep that people connection and keep those people, keep our people connected with our clients just to have that, breadth and depth of service.
all right, you hear that, species? We're gonna be safe for another couple
At
hundred
least on the HR side, hopefully.
couple
Yeah.
years here.
Yeah.
So speaking of your model, what is it? Is it a per seat model, subscription, it's a recurring revenue, obviously, for you all,
Yeah,
right?
I would consider a subscription model. So we charge a per employee per month fee to
Yeah.
manage all of this solution. But our solution encompasses everything. You're talking, we help manage your taxes, your workers' comp, your benefits, and our service fee. And it's charged on a kind of a per diem, right? So let's say you run payroll biweekly, you're only responsible for when I say the organization cost in those 4 areas, benefits, um, taxes, workers' comp, and our service fee for that glimpse in time. So for budgeting purposes, cash flow purposes, we're obviously, we're able to give a ton of money back to the organization because you're not paying medical benefits out a
Love
month
it.
ahead of time. You're not paying workers' comp out a year ahead of time. And that allows for, again, no audits, no increases, all of a sudden, and people come on and come off of your payroll, they come off and come on of ours as well. So there's no lost revenue or lost cost in benefits if you add or subtract an employee. So it's pretty cool.
That is really cool. Fascinating, actually, and I love the net neutral, probably net positive, pain point, right? So it's like, "Ooh, how much is it gonna cost?" Well, let me show you actually how much you're wasting. What is the ideal company size, like, or stage size? Is it go to
Yeah,
market? Is it
yeah.
founder, seed? Where are we?
So, I mean, we have clients as small as 1, 2, 3 employees. Usually, I say around 5 is where it really starts to have an effect because that's people probably you have more than just the founders. You're probably hiring someone who needs benefits. So I'd say 5 employees up to 500 is really where we mark at. Our average client here in Massachusetts is 23 employees. But again, I have a client with me. They've been with me for 4 years now. Started at 32. They're leaving at the end of the year. They're 1,200. So
Wow.
again, we were able to be that kind of engine for them behind the growth. They did a lot of acquisitions, a lot of hiring, and they just did their thing, and we were the backbone of the organization to get them set up in wherever whatever they were hiring. So.
So is fractional the proper term for what your business does? Fractional AR, you don't wanna limit it to HR, fractional,
Well,
like,
I mean,
it's almost
HR
it
is really like
feels like a family office model. Feels kinda
yeah,
like a
well,
family office for a business, right?
yeah,
So
it's definitely I mean, we are an HR solutions provider, whether it's, like if you would outsource your
yeah,
CFO,
yeah,
chances are, I mean, I work with a lot of outsourced CFOs where HR usually falls on the desk of the finance team and we
yeah.
come in and help them just manage that because, you wouldn't hire an HR person to do your finances and vice versa. So, you know, I guess you would consider us a fractional or, an outsourced HR solution,
Got it.
really.
So you
Yeah.
must give a lot of outgoing referrals to other professionals in your space that's pretty cool feeling, isn't
Oh,
it?
yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, that's one of the yeah, I learned a long time ago, you gotta give to get. So
Yeah,
I'm, not only part of EO, but I'm also part of, USA 500, which is another networking, group, and I do a lot of stuff, even, like, p to payroll people. Like, if an organization is moving on for us or is maybe too small, I have a great payroll guy that I work with or, ancillary benefits, things like that. So I work with a lot of also like lawyers, people looking to buy and sell their companies where they, hey Drew, who do I talk to? So
yeah.
yeah, I've had a lot of but again, in Boston, you have to have, somebody in your pocket to support your client because they're coming to you with some
Someone
crazy request.
somebody that you trust,
A
right?
hundred
Somebody that
percent.
you
A
know
hundred
is gonna
percent.
execute for you, and that's a good feeling to be able to tell your client who has a situation that I have a solution for you. It's not me, it's this person who I trust and would send
Yeah.
my mother to, you right?
Oh
So,
yeah. Yeah.
and knowing that it's gonna get done and then it's gonna come back solved, I don't think there's a better feeling than that.
No, and yeah, and just getting that, like, getting that email, "Hey, I talked to Mark. He was awesome. Thank you so much for taking," and just knowing you can send that
Yeah.
referral over and just kinda, not have to worry about it anymore. It's huge for sure.
Any books impact you more than others?
Any books that impact me?
Anything you
Um,
can look back in the journey of Andrew Cape Cod Canal. Can you hey, let's spell your name because this was fun for the pre-call. The people didn't get this because we didn't record it. Spell your
yeah.
last name for us.
Quesnel.
And that's
Canal.
pronounced.
Canal. It's French Canadian. I'm, 3rd generation from Montreal.
Got it. And how many times have you explained to the people how to properly
Every time.
pronounce your
Every
every
time.
single
Usually
not once?
yeah. Once or twice I've come across some professors in college that knew it, but, most of the time they just say, "Andrew," and I just raise my hand and say, "Canal, that's me." So, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like an aaron every single time.
That's right, yeah, right.
So I feel that, right? So you almost offer it proactively, right? It's Andrew Canal, Quesnel,
Yep,
as
yep.
opposed to them assuming what it is, right? So every single time you spell it for people?
Yeah, like, oh, yeah, if I'm, like, calling the bank or something like that or, like,
Yeah.
"What's your name?" Oh, yeah, 100%, spell it every time because they come up,
Put a
they
number on it.
go to see.
How many times have you spelled your last name? Put a number on it.
Oh, thousands. 1,000
Yeah.
times
Yeah.
at least.
So
Yeah.
I do the same thing. Mark Stiles, Stiles.
Yeah. Oh,
You know,
yeah. Every time. Yeah.
because they'll
Flows
they'll
right off
do
the tongue.
they'll assume why, right? But I would say
Yeah.
that I wouldn't have to do it every single time. But it's really interesting because there is a community of people who, I connect with that I could see have to spell their name every time. The
Oh,
Smiths,
yeah.
you missed out on that. You missed out on that added
Yeah.
conversation with people or that story about the Panama Canal.
Yeah. Or you get the, "Oh, really? I never would have come up with that." I get that a lot. When you spell it out, they're like, "Oh, I was nowhere
I
close."
I lost you at Q, you know? 'Cause I'm glad I'm not writing it down. Hey
Yeah.
man, I'm looking at some notes here and it says you're coaching lacrosse. Talk to me about youth sports. Let's go. Let's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
go.
So, well, I took a hiatus since I had my kids, but I coached youth lacrosse for probably 10 years. I played
What
lacrosse
age?
growing up. Oh, eighth graders in Wellesley,
Nice.
Mass. I coached the TPL team, in Wellesley. It was awesome. Some of the best stuff. And I'm actually, I have a 6 and a 4-year-old. I'm getting back into it, like helping
Cool.
coaching them. I actually
Cool.
just reached out. I live in
So
North Reading, so just
little
reached out.
dudes, little
Yeah.
laxers, little
Yeah,
laxers.
yeah. So
I
I got
love it.
started. Yeah, I got to start it over again. I got to keep
So
the commitment
fun.
going. Yeah,
So
but
fun.
coaching is one of the best things. I coached my daughters. She played flag football, and I was just an assistant coach. It was awesome. I mean, there's nothing like it. I'm jumping up and down the sideline. It gives, I miss it a lot. So we
That's
had a
the
lot of
best
fun.
sport on the planet,
Oh
by
yeah,
the way, flag football. NFL did something really special there by introducing flag football. I could go on. I could talk for hours on flag
yeah.
football. You weren't just the assistant coach, dude. You were part of that
Oh yeah,
team, right? What age group
yeah,
was
yeah.
that?
Caroline is 6, so it's
Oh,
sixth graders.
nice.
Yeah, undefeated,
Nice.
undefeated.
I love
Yeah,
it. I
yeah,
love it.
she's pretty psyched. I had great group of kids. Parents were awesome. The town really got behind us, and it was just fun. I mean, watching
Intense.
some kids. Oh, it was definitely intense. I mean, you coach any sport, there's a
Yeah.
tense bit, but the best thing about it is, you had kids that could play who had played in the past, but
Yeah.
then you get those 1 or 2 kids that maybe never picked up a stick. And then by the end of the year, they were one of the people you sent out every time to go to play
Love
defense
that,
or whatever. And that was the best feeling,
isn't it?
to watch those kids just kind of develop. And it's funny, I still run into them. I was down in the Cape somewhere and was talking to a bar back, and he was actually one of the kids that I coached. I was like, "Yeah, I knew I recognized you. I'm Coach Q," and he was dying. Like, he couldn't believe it. So, yeah, I miss it a lot. But I'll get back into it when the kids are a little older.
No better feeling than walking in somewhere, not recognizing someone, and they go, "Hey, coach, what's up?" And
Oh,
you're like,
it was
"That little
unbelievable.
child is now not a little child anymore. What's your
Yeah,
name?" "Oh, I
yeah.
remember you. I
Oh,
remember
yeah.
you."
Yeah, it's happened 2 or 3 times,
I
like,
love it.
walking, they're like, "I know you," so it's
So
pretty cool.
Town Pride League, that's not a club. That's the town
It was the
rec?
town, like, rec league. Yep, yep,
Cool.
yep,
Cool.
yep.
Even better, right? So you're gonna do some of that, the early stage. I remember early under 9, we had a U9s in our town, U9s lacrosse, and they brought them together as a community, um, and they all kinda practiced together as an age group. It was really, really well done. Really,
Yeah.
really well done.
I actually got an email from the North Reading Lacrosse League, and they're opening up, he's like, "Yeah, we're opening up in April for my son, so it'll be the Little Scoopers." So
Little
it's like
scoopers,
little
love it,
scoopers, so 5 and below. So,
love it.
um, Santa will be bringing him some new lacrosse equipment,
I
just so
love it. Goal, you gotta do
he
it up. Go big
Oh,
or go
yeah.
home. You need the
Oh, yeah.
goal, you need the net, you need, gloves, you need it
Yeah.
all. Hey, man, I appreciate you spending some time with us.
Yeah, it was awesome. I appreciate it, and, looking forward to kinda digging in and, just being a resource for you all over at EO. So happy to be here, and, yeah, appreciate the time, Mark.
So, folks, look at him, right? If you got it on YouTube. If you don't, head over to one of the events and look for him. He's been at each one that I've been to. I've seen him at each one of them. He's a valued resource. You can hear it. We didn't even talk about the time that you're giving people back, right? The founders and allowing to have that time back, which is what we're all here to do, right? To freedom. That's the one word I keep hearing over and
Yeah.
over in forum and at different places. What are we doing? We trying to 10x, we trying to scale, we trying to grow, we're seeking freedom. And this is an opportunity for that. So check out Andrew Cape Cod Canal. and share this with someone, right? If you thought about someone, you'd say, hey, I'm all set. I'm good. However, my buddy, this would be perfect. Shoot it over. It helps explain Andrew and who he is a little bit. They get to know him a little bit more. And then that next conversation isn't so first time awkward, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I would appreciate that.
So how would they get in touch with you? How would they reach out and connect?
So I mean, I'm on LinkedIn, obviously Andrew Quesnel on LinkedIn. My email address is just andrew.quesnel at insperity.com, or just give me a holler, 781-565-2812. I'm right here in Woburn, Mass. And, always, usually by the phone. So appreciate everybody. And, again, you know, if I can help, if you have an HR question, how would you do this? Or what's going, I've had some of those calls, and I'm happy to be a resource in those areas. So, just let me know. So I appreciate it.
And then dig in and look at the net neutral and net positive numbers. Folks, this has been another exciting episode of Leadership in Action. Thank you for joining, and we'll see you next time. Leadership in Action is sponsored by the Boston chapter of the Entrepreneurs Organization. As the world's only peer-to-peer network exclusively for entrepreneurs, PEO helps transform the lives of those who transform the world.